You know it that livestock pick the most perfectly inopportune moments to cause mayhem and disasters on the ranch? This is true. I just got off the phone with Rooster and he said, hey, in the midst of the storm and all the craziness, we got a couple feet of snow and 50-mile-an-hour winds. It's been nuts. There's just big, hard, nasty drifts everywhere. Got a lot of work to do. But in the midst of all this, he said, I was checking on the bulls, the big breeding bulls, and he goes, a couple of them must have been fighting. One of them threw the other bull with the toss of his head into the big rubber stock tank, and the water is gone out of the stock tank. So we would like to fix this tank because the pen that they're in is the bull pen, right? The bull pen. Oh. He asked if I had any ideas, and I said, you know what, I actually do. I recently purchased a little, I don't know what you'd call it. It's like a plastic/rubber mending machine. Okay, it doesn't weld and make things watertight and waterproof, but it will hold two pieces of plastic or rubber back together. Here's the catch. It's out and it's away. There's no power out there where the bullpen is, not even close. There's no way you can run an extension cord from anywhere. It's going to require a generator type of deal. And I said, Rooster, I just recently received this Allpowers battery pack. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll ranch it. But we're going to test out this Allpowers and see what it does. Well, there it is. Safe to say the cats like it. Come on, Nat. Y'all, we've got bombed with snow. Bombed. Well, I dare say this is as far as we probably should try to go in the pickup, which means little walking. It's not too bad, a couple 100 yards, little walking through the snowdrift, packing up, I'm gonna say a 50-pound. And don't quote me on the specs here, but it's hefty. It's plenty of battery power. Gonna do my stretches. Okay, I'm good. You might think I'm out of shape little wussy, and that I ain't got as much power in my juice and my goose as the Allpowers has, and you may be right. Yeah, we caught a ride. Thanks for the lift, old Roost. So here's the tear. See that? Oh man, it's big and bad. You pull that ice out your way. I'm kind of using this before I look over the specs, you guys. I'm kind of just putting it right to work. So we're gonna find out what kind of water rating it has, as we've got snow in the baffles, some water on the top. But it's here and we're using it, so that's what you're looking for, right? You want to know if stuff works or not? All right, so this is the tool we're using. Unnamed little treasure. You put the clip in there, pull the trigger, and it heats the clip. And then you melt the clip into the rubber and then release. It'll connect these two sides together. We'll just stitch it. Stitch, stitch, stitch. All the way out and up. Good deal. 4 days. We use this thing for 4 days, y'all. It doesn't hardly use it. Of course, it's just this little thing putting power through these, heating these little wires up, but it's not even registering. I put about 5 or 6 of these in so far, and we're unnoticed.
You think I'll go feed the bread heifers while we come up 50 with the tractor?
What do you think it weighs? I thought 50.
Yeah, 50 anyway, at least as much as the tractor.
Just letting my fingers warm up here. Sun's coming out and the wind's dying off, which is a good combo. Okay, so when I pull the trigger, shows our output, 32 watt output. It's advertised as 50 watt output on the gun, so it's kind of fun to compare that. Down to 98%, I put in about 20 of these. I'm learning on this stitching, or whatever you want to call this. I'm learning. You got to put one side in first, say the right side in first. Let it melt in and then roll to the left real slow. And it'll get it all. If you press it flat and firm all at once, it won't stick in. You'll end up getting, see them couple there where I didn't get the center of it in? They end up like that. All right, they're all stitched, all 40 of them. If you're a professional stitcher, don't say anything. I don't want to hear it. I learned a lot as I went. That was good. So crack clear around there. Now, as far as the Allpowers goes, see where we ended up. 97%, so virtually untouched, unused. This isn't a very taxing thing, but I did just have another thought, you guys. I want to try another test. Let's move on. Rooster was nice enough to offer a ride back through the drifts, but I know he had a lot of work to do and a lot of cows that were hungry. So I said, no, we'll just pack her out of here. He made tracks with the tractor, so at least we have that now. I had a garbage can, like a plastic, garbage barrel, and the handle busted off. And I used this same system. I think I put about 5 of them in there, and that handle's held good as gold ever since. Hey, this is just for you. Got the old gun in my coat. Whoo, I'm dying. I want to show you another application that I thought of that having a portable power station might be good for. Now, I don't know how much juice this is going to take. We're going to find out here in a second, but let me lay out the scenario for you. You're out with the tractor away from the ranch. It's really cold. Maybe you forgot to treat your diesel tank. Now, there's fixes for that. You got to get new oil for not oil filters. Got to get a new fuel filter. You have to bring out some fuel that would get this thing running, that is impervious to the winters. You can do all this, but the problem is, in the time between when this thing dies out in the field somewhere and when you get all of your supplies and the proper tools and things necessary, this engine's going to be too cold to start. So enter, potentially, a portable power station. I do want to plug this tractor in. It is cold out. It's warming up, but it's been really cold. I don't want to cold start this thing. So I'd like to plug it in for the next hour and a half while I'm doing a few other things. Come back. By then, that block heater will have warmed this engine some. But let's see. Let's plug it into the Allpowers and just find out what we're looking at. Simple one push and you got all your power bank juicing. All right. Let's plug this block heater in. Flip it around. There we are. Okay, here we are. Let's see. She's kicking out 630 watts. That looks like a block heater. Tractors, they're about a 600 to 700 watt output. Semi trucks are 1200 watt output. So they take the juice. Keep that in mind. Plugging your cars and stuff in. They take a lot of juice. All right, so check this out. It's telling us at this current output, we have 2 hours remaining, okay? It's gone from 96 to 94. So it is obviously gonna suck the juice down fast. But is 2 hours enough time to heat this engine up where it should just crack right off? Well, let's find out in 2 hours. 2 hours later. Don't mind all my soda cans. That was from seeding wheat. Here we go. Used all the juice right out of there. Let the sun fool you. My camera hand right now is frozen. Sacrificing my hand flesh to finish this video. Oh, so this Allpowers, of course, worked great doing that water tank thing. Utilized it for that block heater. So the last thing that I wanted to check, I've done a few of these power generators in the past, but the one thing they've never sent along, they've always just given me like the bare basic unit. Allpowers sent along a solar panel. Really functional, handy solar panel. It folds up into like a suitcase basically, and you can unfold it into this. It's actually really long. I don't know the dimensions of it, but I would guess to say it's about 8 feet by 4 feet. It unfolds into a couple, well, I'll show you. Whoo, it is frosty. Man, it's frosty. I always thought they'd like, oh yeah, we send you like a solar panel. Oh no, they send a lot. Well, Pepsi really likes it. Okay, so got a couple plugs, go from there. These are all your input options for charging. And let's see what we're getting. I was at 67% like 5 minutes ago. This thing's charging up pretty rapidly. I'm surprised. 147 watts. All right, it's been a little over an hour. Hey, kitties. But they love this sunshiny spot here. They also love the solar panels. Okay, let's see. Oh, look at that. 268. The sun is coming out. My goodness. 78%. So we've charged up, I think we started at 67 or so. So we've charged up 10% in the last hour. But man, look at that wattage. It was 140, 150. Now it's up to 272 in that, that's behind the cloud. The only cloud in the sky. Isn't that fitting? Come on, get out of the way. I bet this thing will kick up to 300 and something. You guys, these solar panels in like the heat of the summer blazing sun, up to 600 watts. I am the first guy that gets lost in all the wattages and numbers and all that. I'm not great on that. This thing's inputting the equivalent of 7 cell phone chargers all plugged into this thing all at once. This is a south-facing side of our garage / shop here at home. And I think to hang some solar panelage, you know, this, for example, hanging would receive massive amounts of sunshine all day long. This thing would be cranking 600. Get a wire that runs down into the garage so that instead of having to bring this out in the wintertime and let it sit out here in the frigid weather, we'd be able to charge it inside the garage. About an hour and a half. Okay, well, look at there, 300 watts. You know why it's 300 watts? Because the old sun is clear in the sky. Still cold, but clear. Hey, we're gonna try something else that I just realized this has the capacity to do. It's called double charge. Double charge. You can solar charge and wall charge. Well, check this out now. We're kicking it into turbo mode. Oh, baby. Look at that wattage. Oh, my goodness. Did you see that? Boom. We just plowed the last, wow. Double charge. That's the way. I don't know in what situation you would be like, we have to charge this in 9 seconds. Otherwise, we're toast. You guys, that was crazed. Well, now that we're all charged up, check this out. This is pretty cool. Sorry, shouldn't have clapped those quite so hard. There she is. Whew, all charged up. Isn't that handy? Just pick it up, carry it with you. I don't know what it weighs, probably 30 pounds. It's got a little substance to it. But we're all juiced and goosed and ready to roll. Well, what do you say we put a recap on this thing and let her rip? I like you. This was a great addition. This is, as a reminder, the 600 watt solar panel, which is like the beast, right? And the sun is shining out there again today. Oh, you guys, it was 27 below zero last night. Oh, the frost is starting to come off the windows. You can see. You only saw me using these babies. These are the 20 amp outlets. These are like what's in your house, right? You've got 4 of those. Boom, 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 boom. Now this guy, this is pretty exclusive to like an RV, right? It's still max at 20 amp, but this would save you if you were using an RV. Everyone uses the adapters and then ends up plugging them into the wall because this is what most campers have. You lose some power through that adapter. This can go straight into there to get your 20 amp. That would power most of your basic stuff in your RV. It's got 2 USB-Cs, which is what a lot of stuff is using these days. And then you got a 4 spot, 2 there, 2 there. Hey, come back. Little power saver. And then there's the old tried and true, the old trusty rusty. Been in every car since my entire lifetime. The old cigarette lighter plug, we call that baby. This last one is a DC output, which I do not have, do not use. But there it is. Hey, love these. They're a little bit of a, look, there's some grease from the shop. Whoops, sorry, bud. They are kind of funky to put, back on. You gotta kind of wiggle waggle them. Just the nature of a rubber cap. But really good idea, because where we go and what we do ranch wise and trucking wise with these, they definitely get the dusty, rusty crusties. Around here on the side, if you were wanting to really dig deep and get deep into this, these are expansion ports where you could add multiples together and make a big old power blasting bank of one where everything's kind of linked together for like true home generation, you know, power outage generation. On this side, this is where you're gonna have all your charge action of the day. You've got the standard wall plug it in there, plug it into the wall. This is the solar input. And as you saw, if you remember, you can run these together at the same time, which is wild. That's when we did the turbocharge. But you got either or. For those of you that are really into the apps and all of like being able to power your entire everything by the push of your apps, they have an app for this as well that gives you more monitoring options, more controllability. Not for me. I'm not a fan of all that extra. I like being able to say, turn on, and you push it and it turns on. That's kind of my jam. Not as much of an app guy, but that's just me personally. You may be an app guy. If you're an app guy or an app gal, get that app, all right? This is the Allpowers R2500. This is the Allpowers 600 watt solar panel. Thank you guys for sending it out. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to test it. Put it to the limit. Block heaters, little plastic welders, and whatever other kind of things that we can find a use for. I actually have a couple other ideas, a couple things I want to try. I'm really into being prepared when I'm on the road. I carry one of these in my semi with me, and I'm curious to see, I'm always trying to think ahead of how to negate potential roadside problems whilst in the truck. That might be the next test I do for something, is some roadside stuff with my semi. Kind of curious what the capabilities are, what we can push. Trying to just find more functional reasons to have one of these. Now, price-wise, you guys, this on the website right now is just a tick under, $1 under $1,000, okay? If you use code WILDWILDWEST, you get another 10% off. $1,000 for this thing, okay? Let me put this into perspective for you. I spend about $800, a little over $850 every 2 to 3 years for my semis to replace batteries, the 4 batteries that crank the engine in my semis. As far as a life expectancy on these, they say about 10 years of use. Now, if you break this down, it's like 3,500 full charge cycles, which if you recharged it every day, that comes to nearly 10 years. Now, nobody out there, I'm pretty confident in saying that none of you are going to use this thing completely through a charge cycle every single day. So if you're in the search for some affordable, truly affordable power, a good backup option, power goes out, you need to keep your freezer plugged in so you don't spoil your meat. You need to plug this into your fridge so you don't spoil your milk or your eggs, because eggs are very valuable these days. It's probably not a bad idea to look into having some kind of backup power in your life, and then having something like this that can regenerate over and over. Should the power continue to stay off, should you be off the grid, should you be in an area where you need to do that. You guys, thanks again for watching. Catch you next time.